honorable colleagues, staff of the ECOWAS Parliament, our partners in development and the media, it is a pleasure and a privilege for me to do the presentation of the country report of the Republic of the Gambia at this occasion of second ordinary session of the ECOWAS Parliament, November 2019. On behalf of the delegation composed of Honorable Keba K. Barrow, Head of Delegation, Honorable Samba Diallo, a member, myself, Honorable Mohamed Magasi, a member, Honorable Fatmata Njai, a member, and Honorable Makhtar Dieng, a member. Honorable Speaker, the Gambia delegation to ECOWAS Parliament presents its compliments to the ECOWAS Parliament and has the honor to present its country report to this August plenary at the second ordinary session 2020. For the political situation, Gambia remains stable politically and economically, and the country continues to attract offshore entities, and the private sector continue to draw more investment. Honorable Speaker, the fundamental human rights of all persons in the Gambia is being respected, and that's manifested in the draft of new constitution. Honorable Speaker, political right and civil liberty, freedom of expression is guaranteed in the 1997 Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, but is of recent, after the change in regime in 2017, that many private radio and television stations were established. The Gambia is a democratic state, and therefore the right to freedom of assembly and association are fundamentally guaranteed in the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, with your permission, I want to do a correction here on 2.1.2, where you have the Gambia is a secular state. Instead of secular, Gambia is a democratic state. For your correction. The judiciary now operates independently without due interference by government. They are no longer political prisoners. There is no report of political or extrajudicial killings. Honorable Speaker, for elections in the Gambia, according to 2013 census, the Gambia has 796,929 registered voters out of 1.8 million population of the Gambia. And the voting age in the Gambia is 18 years and above. Honorable Speaker, there is what you call inter-party committee in the Gambia, which is always chaired by an opposition and followed by a member of a ruling party. Their role is to determine the conduct of politicians during campaign and also mediate and dialogue between political parties when the need arises. Honorable Speaker, In a bid to ensure free, fair, transparent, and impartial periodic elections, the Constitutional Review Commission has reflected in the draft Constitution the fundamental provisions to further strengthen and guarantee the complete independence of Independent Electoral Commission. Honorable Speaker, the Security Service reform is progressing steadily with the first national security policy launched by the President of the Republic of the Gambia in June 2019, giving a room for transforming the country's security sector into an effective professional force capable of defending the supremacy of the Constitution at all times. Honorable Speaker, while this reform is ongoing, the services of ECOMIG is needed, and we still count on ECOWAS and the international community to provide us with the much needed resources. The Gambia underwent its first review of Universal Periodic Review, and out of 242 recommendations made to the country, 207 recommendations were accepted, with 15 noted, and 20 are yet to be reviewed. In May 2019, the government had a dialogue with the African Commission on Human and People's Rights following submission of its reports. And for your information, the Gambia last report to this commission since 1994. As part of the ongoing reforms, efforts to make the Criminal Code and the Criminal Procedure Code are at advanced stage to bring these legislations to international best standards. In addition to the Information and Communication Act. Honorable Speaker, it is important to report that the state needs to monitor the implementation of a number of ECOWAS programs. This includes the implementation of ECOWAS liberalization scheme, the interstate road transit scheme, and the ECOWAS protocol on community levy, the value-added tax policy, the common external tariff, and the most essentially, the ECOWAS protocol on free movement of people and goods. And if you continue, the rest remain as at the last reports. Honorable Speaker, ECOWAS trade liberalization scheme. What we do want to add here is only to inform members that the Trans-Gambia Bridge is now functioning 24/7, and it has also facilitated the easy connection between the northern part of Senegal and the southern part of Senegal, allowing the member states of the ECOWAS region to move their goods and their services freely within the zone. Honorable Speaker, currently 16 Gambian registered companies under the ECOWAS trade liberalization scheme have been guaranteed approval to operate under the ETLS. Out of 15 companies, 2 are fully using the scheme, and the rest have capacity constraints to produce and export. There are still challenges for companies to export smoothly under the scheme. The product of some of the approved companies are subject to import duties by some of the ECOWAS member countries. In Senegal, they are also required to register with Cotecna in Senegal, that is responsible for vetting all export into Senegal. These border challenges and export clearance causes a delay and add cost to ETLS exporters. And at the end of the day, the end consumers will pay the price. Honourable Speaker, on the ECOWAS Gender Development Center, EGDC supports. The Gambia is a beneficiary from the support by the ECOWAS Gender Development Center under its program on the socio-economic empowerment of women in the ECOWAS region. The EGDC in Dakar transferred funds to the ECOWAS National Office for the 2019 allocation to the Ministry of Women Affairs, Children and Social Welfare for the implementation of the Scholarship of Excellence to support brilliant but needy girls and boys in specialized technical and professional education in the Gambia. The project also supports women and girls suffering from obstetric fistula, agro-processing program to support women involved in the processing of agriculture, fishery, and handicraft products in the Gambia. Honourable Speaker, for agriculture and services respectively, the transaction is on account of the delayed rains and the impact of collapse of Thomas Cook, the major carrier of tourists in the Gambia. The gross domestic product at current prices is estimated at 86.6 billion Gambian money dollars in 2019 compared to 78.6 billion Gambian money dollars in 2018, representing a growth of 10.1%. In real terms, GDP is anticipated to grow by 4.0% in 2019 compared to actual outturn of 6.5% in 2018. The agriculture sector is anticipated to experience contraction in 2019 due primarily on poor performance from 2 important subsectors, crop and livestock, both of which are anticipated to decline to minus 6.2 and minus 10.0% in 2019, compared to 6.6 and minus 5.6% last year. Forestry and the fishery and the fishing, on the other hand, are expected to grow by 1.1% and 5.9% respectively in 2019. The industry sector is anticipated to record the strongest growth in 2019 with a projected growth rate of 20.3% compared to 2.5% in 2018. The drivers of growth in this sector are construction, electricity, and water. These subsectors are anticipated to grow by 31.7%, by 31.7, 12.6, and 9.5% respectively. Overall inflation indicates year-on-year inflation of 3.7% as at the end of June 2019 compared to 6.5% the same period of a year ago. This amounts to an increase of 10.6% over the period due mainly to increase inflationary pressures in non-food products and services. Government fiscal operation as at June 2019 resulted in an overall deficit, excluding grants, of 3 billion 760 million 49,000 Gambian money dollars, 4% of GDP, compared to an overall deficit, excluding grants, of 2 billion 537 million to 23,000 thousand Gambian money dollars, 3% of GDP the same period in 2018. The increase in the overall deficit is primarily as a result of an increase in capital expenditure, which rose by 70% over the review period. Growth in broad money surged from 22.4% in June 2018 to 24.4% as at end 2019. It comprises of narrow and quasi money, which grew by 26.2% and 22.3% respectively for the period under review. Total money supply reached 38.13 billion Gambian money dollars as end June 2019 compared to 30.66 billion Gambian money at the same period last year. Harmonization of regulations governing payment system, the real-time gross settlement system was connected to the core banking application of some of the banks. For the OMVG, these projects, once realized, will enable the Gambia achieve energy security and stability through access to energy from the OMVG dams. Caleta 240 megawatt, Shuepiti 450 megawatt, and Sambangalu 128 megawatt. And the West Africa Power Pool Transmission Network. It will also minimize power transmission cost and other potential hydroelectric seats of regional interest situated mainly in Guinea and hence promote their development. Status of implementation of the Africa Intercontinental Trade Agreement. Honourable Speaker, what do you just want to say there? After approving this protocol in the Parliament, the Gambia now is enjoying a bigger market, which has increased from 2 million consumers to 1.2 billion consumers all over Africa. However, for the Gambia to meaningfully benefit from the AFC-FTA agreement, the country will need to undertake serious and strategic reforms to greatly improve the business environment and attract investment and support private sector development, particularly in value addition areas, such as agro-processing, fish processing, light manufacturing, and other services. The reforms will include the realization of our tax system public services for robust and effective public services delivery, and the development of highly skilled and professional human resources, strong democratic governance and the rules of law, and strong, dedicated, honest, and reliable political leaders that is committed to reform these, among others, are prerequisite for the Gambia to tap the huge benefit of the AFC-FTA. Economic and social situation. Here also you would like to do a correction, 7.1.1, where you have the Gambia economy is anticipated to grow. Instead of grow, is to decline. You can change the word to decline on a speaker with your permission. Then the sentence now reads, the Gambia economy is anticipated to decline by 4.0% in 2019 compared to an actual real growth of 6.5% in 2018. The decline in growth is as a result of anticipated setback in both agricultural services and other service sectors. Growth in these two sectors is projected at -2.6 and 1.5% in 2019 compared to 0.9 and 9.9%, resolving the incidence of mutual processing. Honourable Speaker, realizing the demographic dividends through youth empowerment, the government is determined to realize its commitment to leave no youth behind, as it is recognized that the youth are the engines of growth and are an essential pillar for the development of any nation. The goal for the sector is therefore premised and secured sustainable livelihood for youth through skills development, decent work, and excellence in sports. Status of implementation of macroeconomic convergence criteria. As at end 2019, the Gambia satisfied 4 of primary criterion, namely inflation, budget deficit including grants, central bank financing limits, and the gross international reserve criteria. The same performance rate was recorded in 2018. On the second criteria, the Gambia achieved only 1. Making the Gambia to achieve 5 out of the 6 convergent criteria, both in 2018 and 2019. We are very sorry. At the point in time, you don't have the table. It's just today that we received the table, and right now it is forwarded to language unit for translation, but it will be communicated whenever it will be available. Environment and climate change. The National Environmental Management Act, NEMA, 1994, under the purview of the National Environment Agency, is the legal framework for the control and management of environment and for matters concerned therewith. Government of the Gambia, in the context of a national development plan, continue to formulate and implement policies that facilitate the creation of a favorable environment for private sector-led development. The private sector has even been involved in natural resource management in the Gambia. It relies in the fact that environmental issues are cross-cutting and require concerted efforts from all. The government of the Gambia introduced an environmental tax, which is levied on all goods, imported, second-hand vehicles, clothes, batteries, etc., into the country that can impact negatively on the environment. These taxes are collected by the Gambia Revenue Authority, GRA, and paid to the National Environment Agency periodically. The Gambia continues to successfully observe the ban on the importation of plastic bags and other related plastic materials in the country. The ban has has indeed freed the country from toxic material, and the Gambia has enacted Renewable Energy Act 2013 and the Public and Environmental Health Officer Act 2016. Honorable Speaker, ECOWAS Community Levy. The Gambia is fully compliant to the ECOWAS Protocol on Community Levy. The Gambia Revenue Authority is collecting 0.5% of all imports from countries outside the ECOWAS region and the ECOWAS community, levy and remitting the amount directly to the ECOWAS accounts at the Central Bank of the Gambia. The ECOWAS Community Levy Protocol A/P1/7/9 governing the application of the community levy came in 1996 with the aim and objective of funding the programs of the community. This is considered as the most effective way of funding the community than earlier mechanism of contribution method by member states. Honorable Speaker, I am very happy to inform you that the Gambia has paid all its areas of contribution to ECOWAS and was officially being informed by the ECOWAS Commission about the completion of the payment of areas. Subsequently, the committee conducted reconciliation and consultation with the ECOWAS Commission, was able to establish that the government of the Gambia has settled its areas in excess, and the Commission has remitted back the excess amount to the Gambia. I think this needs to be emulated by other countries. It's an achievement. Congratulations to the Gambia. Sensitization activities carried out by the Gambia's ECOWAS parliamentarians. The Gambia's delegation to ECOWAS Parliament conducted a sensitization program at the Gambia-Senegal border community in Sabi, my home village, Basse, my own constituency, on Saturday, 2nd November 2019. This program brought together all stakeholders from both sides of the two sister countries, the Senegal and the Gambia. All members of the Gambia delegation to ECOWAS Parliament, authorities and local community from both sides of the border were present at the sensitization forum. Experts were invited from the relevant ministries and agencies to give lectures on ECOWAS programs and the protocols to communities of both countries. Both the national broadcaster, Gambia Radio and Television Services, and the private broadcaster, QTV, covered this program to further disseminate the message to people for better awareness of the ECOWAS activities and programs. The lectures were delivered in various local dialects to give better understanding of the ECOWAS protocol and related matters, and a radio panel was staged to further disseminate information. The Gambian delegation, in consultation with the Ministry of Trade and ECOWAS matters, continue to publish a series of newspapers, press releases, and advertisements to the community on the community taxes to educate and enlighten the general populace on this important ECOWAS community infrastructure. All these activities were implemented through funding provided to the delegation by the ECOWAS Parliament in 2017 to sensitize and bring ECOWAS protocol and its institution closer to the people. A separate report of this sensitization activity by the delegation is prepared and submitted to the administration for the record. Through commitment, dedication, and honesty, we pray to Almighty Allah to continue guiding him in his future engagement. On that note, obrigado, merci beaucoup, and thank you.